So usually I just kind of try to make sure that, I incorporate people in my life who I know are going to be there, who I know are going to support me. Not the ones that are just trying to be friends for a season. I don't want that. I want lifelong friends who are there for me, and not the people who just want to come around and hang out and then, just talk behind my back. Like, I thought I had a friend for 15 years, and I come to find out long after the fact that she'd been talking really dirty stuff behind my back, for years and years and years, or tried to compete with me or compare herself to me. And, like, this isn't based on your skin color. I personally don't base things off of skin color. I'm non-judgmental. Like, I can't judge people. It's hard for me to do so. But she did. She thought she thought I was dreaming. She thought I was making things up due to the fact that I was black. She's like, that's normally a white thing. You don't have light skin, so how can you think like that? Your mentality shouldn't be that way. That's only for light-skinned people. Like, you're not white. How can you ever think like that? That thought shouldn't even cross your mind. Why aren't you white enough? And, so I'm like, you know what? Well, and she's like, I'm so pretty. I have all this white skin. And I'm like, you know what? You're still my friend. You know what? But that's not going to change the interest I have. I love Japanese anime. You don't have to be a certain skin color to have interest and to love what you love in life. And I completely love Japanese anime. And there's a lot of people that cosplay. You don't have to be a certain color to cosplay either. So, I kind of just got fed up with it and tired of it. So we're actually not friends anymore. And I'm glad about that because I didn't want to have to deal with that stress in my life. We didn't break up over that. Our friendship didn't break off because of that. It broke off because of other personal concerns. But no, that friend is not in my life anymore. And I'm grateful because of it. And I don't like people assuming anything about why the friendship broke off. If I didn't tell you, then don't let it enter your mind, period. Like, don't. Don't dream it up. This is not a fanfic. This is not some type of novel that you could write on Wattpad. You can kiss my behind with that because it's not. If I didn't tell you otherwise, then don't make anything a period. Because that's disrespecting me, and I know you're trying to disrespect me on purpose, and I'm not allowing it. I don't care who you are, just don't do it. And so, basically, if it didn't come from the horse's mouth, which is me, if it didn't come from me, then I don't know why you're trying to talk otherwise about it. Otherwise, no, I didn't have a sibling relationship with my brother. Actually, I have another brother who's younger than me, but he's like my half-sibling because he was born in a different marriage to my father. My father and I didn't grow up in the same country. When my mom and dad divorced, she took us away from my dad, so I didn't have a father in my life, period. I grew up in a single-parent household, so it was extremely dysfunctional. I grew up till the age of 9, expecting my dad to still be there. And when I realized, that, elementary school was progressing and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh my God, Dad's not really going to be around. It was hard for me. I had to learn to adjust to things like that. And yes, it was extremely difficult. So, honestly, I think about it now, and I'm like, you know what? Ever since then, all the disciplines that I've taught myself, that's from me. Like, I wrote that I was closer to my grandma. Everything I know is from my grandma. My mom was not close to me. She didn't teach me the majority of what I knew. My grandmother did. And when she passed away, I cried so hard at her funeral. Like, that was my mom. She was there for me for all the interest I had. She sat there and she watched, everything I did, congratulated every little second. That was my mother. That's a mom. I didn't have my actual mom congratulate any of those type of things. Like, it was never good enough for her. It wasn't perfect enough. Just everything, just never enough because it wasn't her. And I'm like, I'm never going to be you. You can't expect me to be you. And even my sibling, who's a guy, he's like, why can't you be mom? I'm like, I'm not her. Don't ever expect me to be her. That's sick. Like, that's like a mental disease or something. That's something psychologically wrong with someone if you expect another person to be like someone else. Especially since they weren't congratulating me for what I am good at. So that's really, really horrible. No, and I never had that support, and I don't know what that feels like. So I'm not going to want it now, and I don't want it back in my life. Because it caused me more hurt and pain than I ever wanted, and I don't want that back in my life. For people who can't relate, then, don't worry about it. You don't have to comment. And I don't ever expect you to understand. But, for the people that do understand, thanks for hanging with me and trying to stick through it. But otherwise, no, I'm just trying to take care of myself, the best way I know how to with the people that do support me. And I appreciate that.